call the July 22nd meeting of the Bruce Township Zoning Board of Appeals to order, please. Roll call, please, Dana.
Jenny Teller.
Here.
Don Hook.
Here.
Kirk Moss.
Here.
Tom Kilcofen.
Here.
Rick Barrett.
Here.
If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I don't know if we're going to get out of this chair twice.
We're going to have to get up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3 is approval of the agenda. 4. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Any additions to the agenda? We have a second.
Second that.
Approved and seconded, no additions, no changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5 is approval of the previous minutes. We have 2 sets tonight. The first one is the minutes from October 23rd, 2023. These have been open because of some questions that have come up, and I'm going to try to clarify those tonight if I can, and then any other comments that we might have, or board members have, we will certainly address those. So, can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Support?
A second.
All right. I would like to amend the minutes, and rather than make this complicated, any more complicated than it is, I would ask you to look at page 3 under the motion by Don Hook and tell you what I would propose. And because I like Dana, I wrote this all out for you, Dana. Okay. So, my proposed amendment to the minutes, most of it is reformatting and a little bit of clarification. But the first part of the motion up to the placement of septic system and building positions pretty much remains the same. And the conditions and circumstances of the wetlands are unique to this piece of property. To try to clarify this as best I can, and if it's not clear to you, particularly those that were there, please let me know, because I want to make sure that all the information is in the deed restrictions and in the homeowners association's bylaws, and that's one of the things that we looked at. So this is my proposed amendment. Starting, I propose to eliminate from "it is consistent with ordinance 161" down to the sentence that starts "highly recommended by Eagle," and replace it with "the following conditions apply: strict compliance with ordinance 161 section 5-21. The natural resources greenbelt area are strictly adhered to. Number 2, include notice of variance placed on the master deed of the property that outlines the restrictions in the buffer area to inform the purchaser and to protect the wetlands. Number 3, the association is required to place signage that cannot be changed or removed to mark the wetland areas. Association bylaws to include the requirement as boilerplate language. Number 4, recommendation will be made to the Planning Commission to reinforce the requirement. And at the end of the motion, the ayes, nays, et cetera, remain, and I would add the comment that Mr. Edie offered to draft language to address wetlands, buffer requirements, open spaces, setback, land balancing in the buffer area, and filling, the bylaws and signage. Are there any comments? Does that,
It's a lot more clear for the way it's stated.
okay.
Reformatting it made more sense than just kind of throwing it in.
Yeah, that one big long paragraph got kind of confusing. Are there any other comments, questions, suggestions?
One statement you made about the wetlands area. Wouldn't that be better, the border of the wetlands?
Signage that cannot be changed or removed to mark wetland areas. Mark,
Okay, wetland borders?
yep, that's fine.
Or wetland areas at the borders.
Okay, one or the other. Just- I'm good with borders, just eliminate the areas.
Okay.
That's because that's where the signage is basically going to be, and that's in effect their common areas, is what they're calling a lot of that. Okay, any other comments? Questions? All right. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Amended minutes are approved. And as I said, Dana,
Thank you very much.
He didn't tell you how much his notes were going to cost you, though.
the notes are free. My interpreting my handwriting is a little different. Okay. The second set of minutes are for the May 20th, 24 meeting. A motion to approve the minutes. Someone was who was at the meeting?
I move to approve the minutes of May 20th, 2024.
Moved by Jenny.
Support.
Support by Kirk. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Item 6 is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business that anyone has to bring to the table?
Not that we got the October 23 minutes approved.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. Item 7 is new business. First order of business is it's Mr. Red.
Hold 1 second before we do that.
Sure.
So I may have a amendment to these. I was not at this meeting, but apparently I agreed to the first comment, so I think that's a typo.
Oh, you approved it?
What page is that, Rick?
Page 1,
You approved.
the approvers were listed Barrett, Zolono,
Zolno.
and Teller.
Mr. Barrett wasn't here.
I will fix that.
We will correct that. I'm not going to,
No big deal.
yeah, no, I'm not going to open, it back
That's fine.
up to get an approval, but good catch, thank you. Okay. Is it Mr. Red? Okay. I just wanted to be sure. All right, item 7A is the variance at 72200 Henry. The,
Henry D.
okay,
You're going on Karen D.
Henry D. is here. I see that, very good. The applicant has requested a variance. The property is zoned R1A, which requires a minimum 60-foot front yard setback. They are requesting a 15-foot variance in the front yard. You'll have the opportunity, but I want to go over, just so that you're clear what the process is, and then we'll let you provide the information. There will be a public hearing. We'll open the public hearing. You have as much time as you need to present the information. We will ask questions. You can ask questions. If you forget something or want to say something, you're certainly free to do that, even after you've completed your presentation. There is the opportunity for public participation, which I don't think we're going to have tonight. There is a requirement that you have 3 affirmative votes to approve a variance request. The variance itself is only for the requested variance. It doesn't waive any other requirements, ordinances, or regulations on that property. There is a section, and we'll go over that defines the criteria that the board has to use in order to make the decision and come to the decision. And if the variance is denied, you may take it to circuit court for relief. Do you have any questions? Okay. So at this time, as I indicated, the request for variance is for 15 feet at the front yard. And if you could step to the microphone and give us some insight into what, why, and where you're requesting.
Okay, so I believe you guys have the drawings.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So the 15-foot is only in the corner of the house. It's not the whole front of the house. It's only a portion of the corner, and it's only, the reason is because the court, the way the street is, it only swells at the end. It only swells to our side. So to keep in line with the neighboring houses, the corner kind of has to be in there just a little bit to not have to shift back to where I'm in the main line of sight of the neighbors out their rear view. And if I shift left on the property, our driveways are basically, would be touching each other. And basically to get that much property and be right on top of the neighbors, they don't want it and I don't want it. So by being able to put the corner of the house inside that setback, it allows us to be basically in a straight line, the 3 homes. There's only 3 homes on that street right there. And when they're sitting in their backyard, they're not looking at my house, and I'm not looking in their house. So it's basically a privacy thing for both of us. There is a letter there from the direct neighbor stating that, that she would like the fact that she wants the variance because she doesn't want to look at my house either. I guess that's basically it. And shifting it back would obviously lose kind of the awesome topography of the ground, and I would lose the view to the pond from our backyard, and basically I would be kind of encroaching on her, or them, I should say.
Okay. I did ask Dana to send a couple of additional questions, which were answered. And also, I'm going to pass this over real quick. There's another drawing that I have that I don't think anybody else has, so I want you to take a look at it. And what it does is it identifies the location of the three houses, as I'm sure best you know at this point.
It's right off of the site plans for each house.
Okay, so take a quick look at that, and maybe it clarifies some of it.
Yeah, they line up real well on this sketch.
Your drawing kind of puts all these on one.
Yes,
sheet.
it's all on one sheet.
Yeah.
And it, as it does, it lines them up.
Well, I know
Makes sense.
personally what you're talking about, because I've got that condition in my house. My neighbor built after I did, and he built in front of my house, so I look in the back of his.
Right, and that's what I really don't want to do that to her or to them. And the original home plan for the subdivision had their driveway on the left side of the house, and it ultimately ended up on the right. So if I shift left, we're going to be right on top of each other.
Yeah, because you'd have to shift left half your house.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
I also asked some questions, and I'll tell you what they are and give you the answers, just to eliminate duplication for you, anyway. I asked for the original location of the house, and the answer was, this is the original location of the house. It was, I'm assuming by that you mean there was no proposed location on the site plan.
There was not.
Okay.
Because it was a split, it was just, there really wasn't anything.
And then I asked for the location, define the location of the house, which you did. To indicate exactly how many feet the variance was. I know it shows on the print, but it was never on the application, so I wanted to make sure that that was clear. I asked if there was an easement in the front yard. It doesn't show one, but I see that gas marker was there. That's what raised the question. The yellow
Gotcha.
marker sitting there. There isn't one.
Yeah, we've got like a
That-
10-foot green space, but not a real,
Right.
not an actual easement.
Well, in septic locations, they have not been determined at this point. And as which side of the driveway is going to be on, it's going to be on the left side. So those were the questions that I asked, just for clarification. Are there any other questions from the board? Do you have any,
See, that's good.
do you have anything else you want to add?
No?
Not
No,
at this
sir.
point?
No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, also, yes, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There is a letter from the association too,
Yes.
that
I was-
all of the neighbors, not just my only neighbor, but all of the neighbors, the whole subdivision approved it also,
Right.
so.
I have two letters that I will ask to be entered into the record, both in support of the request for the 15-foot variance. I'm not going to read them. I think everybody has them in their package, but I will acknowledge that one is from, is it the association? Do you have or this is Mr. Kruger is,
Yeah, he's our head liaison for the association. Yeah.
okay.
+1 586-206-0949.
Sorry,
That's quite all right.
but I had it turned off.
Not a problem. Okay. This is a letter in support of the variance. I also have a letter in, are the Simon?
Yes, they're my neighbor.
Okay, they didn't, from reading the letter, I assumed it was from them, but there's no, they don't identify where they live.
Oh,
So,
I didn't realize she didn't put that in the letter.
Yeah, this
She's-
is-
She's my they're my direct next door.
okay, and this also is a letter of support for the variance, pretty much for the same reasons that were stated. So those will be also entered into the record of Dana. Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Just a comment, well, kind of a question, Mr. Red. Mr. Red, where are you in the process of attempting to get a building permit and waiting on this action?
Waiting on this, yes.
Okay. I suspected so.
Next step, once the location gets approved, is we've got to get the location of the well and septic put in
Right.
on the site plan, and then from there, work on permits.
Any other questions?
We don't have any markings of where water and sewer run through.
They don't,
Is
there,
drawn.
there aren't any.
There's
It's-
none
It's
in there?
it's on-site systems, well and septic.
Okay.
Any other questions? I have a couple if nobody has. Okay. There's quite a bit of slopes, front and rear in that.
Yes.
What, is there going to be an impact on where you place your house when they do the land balancing on that?
If it's approved, there shouldn't be, because it would really almost nestle me right against where the drop-off starts.
Okay. If there were a lesser variance granted and the house were to be moved north, would that still accomplish what you want to accomplish? Or would it put it back further than you want it?
I mean,
That's a
depending on
leading
how-
question.
Depending, yeah. Depending on how far north, yes, it would be tough. It would
Okay.
make it hard, yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming that the drop-off in the back, the slope, can, the building, the home itself can be accommodated with that slope, and there's still enough area for the septic system
Yes,
that would probably be more on the north side of the lot, I'm assuming.
more than likely.
Yeah.
I mean, it does flatten out. I mean, there's still a slight slope to it, but it does flatten out pretty good after the drop.
Okay. What is the existing structure that's shown on there?
You know, I've done a lot of research and I mean, they're really old. It's
Okay.
just some random blocks. It's not even a real foundation. It's got to be an old farmhouse or an old shed that was behind a farmhouse, something like that.
Okay,
Do those exist still?
Yeah, they're still there.
yeah, they show them. I don't-
Yeah, I saw the sketch.
But it's not a true foundation in today's terms. It's
Okay.
just some block.
Yeah, that was my actual question, I guess.
I honestly don't think anybody realized they were back there. It's so overgrown back there that the guy, the survey, when he was doing the survey, he just kind of stumbled on them.
Okay. Any other questions or comments anyone has? Okay. I
Don't
will.
see any downside.
Okay, I will give you, I will kind of paraphrase the criteria that we have to look at in order to approve it. The board board shall not approve an application for a variance unless it is found positively that, number one, strict enforcement of the ordinance would cause a practical difficulty and deprive the owner of rights enjoyed by all other property owners owning property in the same zoning district. Number two, conditions and circumstances are unique to the subject property, not similarly applicable to other properties. Conditions and circumstances unique to the property were not created by the owner or a predecessor. Number four, the requested variance will not confer special privileges that are denied other properties similarly situated. Number five, the requested ordinance will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the township zoning ordinance. Do you have any question about those?
No, sir.
Okay. So at this time, we can close the public hearing. Motion to close.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Okay.
Second.
Moved and approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is closed, but if you have anything else you want to say, you're certainly free to say it at any time. At this point, we deliberate what our decision will be, so. If there's any other questions, comments, as we look at this?
Well, to your last statement about it, meeting the intent, right? The reason for this is only because of the cul-de-sac sticks out one side, and really, the setback meets the 60-foot intent across the main road, right? So, I think that leaves us within the intent of the standard.
I don't see difficulty in granting this variance for many of the reasons that we need to consider.
Okay. Any other comments?
We have two people that are, well, one person directly affected who seems okay with it, and apparently the whole sub is in favor of it, so that's always a good thing to have on
Mhm.
record.
Then, I guess I would also add that because of the layout of that street, there's not going to be a property south of that would have any issue with site clearances or their view being affected by by this piece of property. I believe that that falls off and becomes the detention basin down below there.
Yep, there is no one south of me.
Right. So moving the house forward is not going to have a negative impact on any lot that may be further south of that. So
Plus, as stated in the neighbor's record or response, it benefits them as well. Not just they're okay with it, but it's a benefit to them.
right. Okay. All right. So, any other comments, questions, concerns? Okay. Since Mike isn't here, I will. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
No, sir.
Any questions you have? Okay. All right, I would like to make a motion to approve the 15-foot variance requested at 72-200 Henry D., right?
Yes.
Okay. And The reasons for the request for approval are that there are exceptional circumstances on that piece of property with the slopes, the cul-de-sac, and the fact that there is no impact on any lot to the south of that. Number two, it is consistent with the setback of the other two properties and benefits the neighbors as much as it does the applicant. Number three, a lesser variance would not accommodate the home, nor would it grant the relief that the neighbors are seeking. And finally, the request for approval, I think, is consistent with the spirit and intent of the Bruce Township zoning ordinance.
Done? I will support your motion if you're done. If you're not done, continue.
No, I'm done.
I support the motion.
Okay.
I think I'd like to consider an amendment to that.
Well, we didn't get, did anybody second it yet?
No.
So then you
second.
can add to it.
Yeah,
I think I just seconded your motion.
Oh, you did, that's right.
I did,
Okay. All right, so as a maker of the motion, I will accept an amendment.
certainly.
We will accept an
Yes.
amendment.
Can we define some way that it's just the corner of the house that's involved in this?
Mhm.
Wouldn't want to see something
Mhm.
built in that 15 feet in front of the house someday.
Okay.
Southerly front corner.
So that we would, there would only be one restriction then that we would place on this, is that the 15-foot setback
For the
is,
southeast corner of the building.
yeah, and is indicated on, I don't know where my, whichever
Southwest.
drawing that is.
Southwest.
We will enter this, it's in here someplace, this drawing into the record with the restriction that it be as specified on the print. 15-foot setback in the corner. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep, good catch, Don. Anything else? Okay, so it has, the amendment has been seconded. Can we have a roll call, Dana?
Teller,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Cook,
Yes,
Moss,
Yes,
Elcock.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was it as bad as you thought it'd be?
Well, you never know, right?
the next, the next giant step has been taken.
Yep. Well, good luck on your building.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And again, the one thing to remember is this does not waive any other requirement that you have, so,
Building department can help you.
yep. Okay.
is this the first house you've built?
It is not.
It seems like a pretty good.
It was built in Romeo, or Washington. It's been a while. Yeah, wasn't planning that I would be in there as long as we were. We lived there 17 years. Time flies.
Yeah, it does. Okay. You're welcome to stay. We're going to have elections and talk about things that will be of no interest to you. So you're free to leave if you want to.
I would.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good luck.
Yeah. Okay. Next item is the bylaws. The changes, you have the proposed changes to the bylaws. These, two of them are specific to the board's action changing the meeting time. But before we get into the discussion, I'm going to ask for a motion to waive section. Article 6, Section 4, which is the 14-day requirement for getting the information to the board.
I'd like to waive
To
that.
this,
Yes, because we had them less than 14 days.
There still should be a minimum.
That's it, 14 days is the minimum.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I
if
mean-
you want to waive that, it means,
No, for this discussion, not permanent, just
okay,
for this discussion,
All right.
so that we can discuss the changes to the minutes. Otherwise, we have to push it till next month, or the next meeting, whenever that might be.
I will make a motion to hold that section in abeyance until such time as we reconvene when necessary.
Okay, so we have a motion to waive the requirements of Article 6, Section 4, the 14-day notice. We have support?
support.
Moved and supported. All in favor? Well,
Aye.
let's have a roll call,
Okay.
Dana, because we're...
Barrett,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Feller,
Yes.
Maas,
Yes,
Kilco.
Yes. Okay. As I said, two of these are in response to the board taking an action to change the meeting starting time to 6 o'clock. And the third one is just cleaning up we'll go through them one at a time. The current language is there for you to see, and rather than go through the process, I don't believe in amending the minutes over and over and over again. So rather than having to do that, the language that I would recommend is that rather than a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, as it says, the meeting shall be held on a day and time established by the Bruce Township Board of Trustees. So if they change the meeting again, we don't have to change the bylaws. It's whatever day the next board may want to, change the starting time, whatever. So are there any comments, questions about number 1? Hearing, do you want to do these one at a time, or do you want to approve them all, or?
do them all.
Do them all? Okay. Number 2 is also a result of the change. It indicated that if the fourth Monday falls on a holiday, such meeting may be scheduled on an alternate Monday. And the proposed language is, in the event that the meeting falls upon a holiday, such meetings may be scheduled on an alternate date. And again, you don't have to change them anymore. So if they change the date, we're golden. Number 3 is simply updating from the old ordinance section to the new ordinance section. So it's consistent with the ordinance 161. So those are the 3 changes. That was Kirk's catch, so thank you, Kirk. Any comments or questions about that? Hearing none, motion to approve.
I will make the motion to approve the bylaw amendments as submitted.
I'll second.
Support, moved and supported. We'll do a roll call, Dana.
Kilcofen,
Yes.
Hook,
Yes.
Maas,
Yes,
Feller,
Yes.
Barrett.
Yes.
bylaw changes are approved effective tonight, adopted tonight. All right, any comments from the floor?
Other than she's getting hungry.
Okay, hurry up. Okay, I got that. Okay.
Makes sense.
Right. And don't we have elections tonight, Dana?
Yes, I'm sorry, they're not on the.
No, and I didn't we didn't amend it. So,
The agenda.
we have elections tonight. So I guess we're going to make that C. And I'm just going to make that C, and I will accept a challenge to the chair if you don't want me to do that. So, hearing no challenge, we will make that C. Okay. I did talk to Kirk and I did talk to Don, both of whom are willing to serve another term in their respective positions. So I will do away with protocol, and rather than turn this over to somebody who's not running, I'm just going to do it. So we'll do each one position at a time. At this point, would open the nominations to chair.
Nominate Tom Kalkofen.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
Will you accept?
I accept.
There's a line forming in the hallway.
Okay, hearing no further nominations, I move to close the nominations.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nominations are closed. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I get to vote right now.
Okay, Dana can vote.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll take a motion to open the nominations for vice chair. I make that motion.
Kirk Moss.
Okay, we have moved and support. Nominations are open. Kirk Moss, do I have a second? I'll second that. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none. Nominations are closed. All in favor, Kirk Moss as vice chair? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Open the nominations
good
for
campaign.
secretary.
Nominate Don Hook. Oh, we have to open nominations.
Open them first.
Open the nomination for office of secretary.
Jenny supported that. Nominate Don Hook.
Yes.
Support.
Support.
Are there any nominations from the floor? Hearing none. Motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Support. Moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Don. Okay.
Where are the balloons?
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have any communications or announcements? We're going to make them all in communications or announcements.
I have an announcement. I'd just like to remind everybody that the 169th Simpson Park Camp Meeting is now in session through the 28th of this month. And it's one of the few recognized plaques that we have for this particular camp meeting. And it's open to the public. Their services are at 10:30 in the morning and 7 in the evening with renowned speakers. And they're very uplifting, and it's part of a historic community that we have the privilege of having right here in Bruce Township. So I encourage everyone to take a part and take a walk through there. Park in the north parking lot. Oh, I did bring the pamphlets if anyone's interested in seeing the programs. Want to take one home? Done?
Sure.
Kurt,
Yes.
Oops.
here's another one.
Yep.
And you can also go online.
Thanks.
Which gives even a more complete understanding of the park.
I can post one in our window too, and maybe
Okay,
one on the
sure.
Facebook page.
You can have, there's 4 of them here, I've got a bunch I'll give you, or that 4 anyway.
Any other,
Well, with where we live, we take part in that all the time.
okay.
We hear them down there.
I have 3, and I'll make them quick. The first one is that the board has named a replacement for Mike. And I will remind you that it's a statutory requirement that a member of the Planning Commission be a member of the ZBA. So they have nominated and it has been approved that Jared Vinson, who is the chair of the Planning Commission, will be the Planning Commission member on the ZBA. The second is, and I'm going to have Dana go over the opportunity for an online course from Michigan State University.
Yes, I received this, and it's a new program, so I'm excited about it. I'm going to take it too. But it's a ZBA online certificate course. The township is going to cover the cost. As I said, it's online. I didn't check and see, but I will, and let you know how many classes there are and the length per class. Tom has mentioned that maybe we could get together here and watch it together for ease of, discussion. If that works for everybody. If not, like I said, it's online and you can watch it at your, well, before I say that, I think it is. I have had an online one that was at a specific time, but I don't think this one is. I think this is just at your own schedule, so you can watch it. But yeah, we'll find out, but, how much time commitment there is.
We'll get more information. I would encourage you to take it if you can. I guess the landscape of ZBA decisions and issues is changing all the time. Every time there's a court case, something else changes, and it's good information. If we can do it in one setting, we'll try to do it that way. But if not, you can always do it yourself online. And the Dana will.
There is also, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tom. There is, as I'm looking at this now, there is a hyperlink there that you can click on for more. It does give you more information, and that's where the details about the time, how much time each class is.
It says 6 self-spaced modules,
Right.
so it seems like it's some kind of commitment. It's not like we could meet and do it all in one.
Well, if they're like an hour or something, you can probably try to knock off 2 modules in an evening or
Sure.
something like that. So Dana's going to find out how long each session lasts and what they are. It would be my recommendation to the township that we'll survey the board and the alternates as to how many people want to do it and see if they can't do something so that we can come here at one time that's convenient. And if it's not, you can do it yourself or not do it. It's certainly not a requirement. So you get more information. And the last thing, I just want you to know that one of the problems that I see is the application that the township uses to get the information. We don't get a lot of information on that form. So we're constantly, and it's a nuisance for the staff, and it's a nuisance for the applicant to have to keep going back, asking questions, asking to submit more information. I contacted the township planner. He sent me several applications from communities, Macomb, Oakland County, Wayne County. So I'm looking at those, and I'm going to get with Dana and going to propose a new application before, when we draft something that we think is kind of the final, we will present it to the board members for your comments. Anything that you think should be added, we'll put them in. I don't know what the internal process in the township is, how they're changed, how they're approved, whatever, but we'll suggest that, they take a look at it and consider changing the application. And what most of them do, and I think it's saddest, and that's what I used tonight. I took one, it has the applicant answer the questions on the required information that we have. Why do you think that you can satisfy that? And so that's also in the record. But as I say, I don't want to belabor this stuff. But everybody will have the opportunity to comment on it before we do anything.
I think it's a great idea.
My thought would be put copies of all that information out to the entire board beforehand to see if there's any areas that somebody feels strongly about. Doesn't get glossed over on a review.
I can try to eliminate some of it is redundant. Each one has the same thing on it, so maybe just one of those, and then some of the other attached pages, I can see if Dana can send those out, and then
When you say that, you mean the ZBA? Or-
to the ZBA, yeah.
Washington Township and Shelby Township, are you going to get those also?
I wasn't planning to,
It just seems like if things are moving this way, it would be nice.
Really?
Semi-consistent, with what we're asking people to do.
I think,
Our planner is the Washington also.
yeah, and I asked him about Washington, and I think Washington has a general application that applies to a whole lot of stuff, not just the ZBA. And I don't think that I'm interested in trying to do that and then tell the planning commission, hey, I had a great idea for you. I think I'm going to stick to the ZBA, but I did not ask him about Shelby. I did ask him about Washington, and that's what, it's a, as I say, more comprehensive than just a ZBA. It touches on several other things.
Will our township board need to approve any new application that we do?
I don't know. That's what
I
I
heard you
said.
say that, that's why I asked.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know what the process is. I would probably just cover it with a memo to Mike Philbrook and tell him to take, ask him to look at it and let us know if whoever approves it, approves it. And if we don't hear anything, we don't.
Don, what you're asking to be sent out is their draft, once he drafts everything.
I think he wants to see the blank forms that I'm looking at right now. Is that right? Yeah,
That's why I wasn't sure what he
Yeah.
was asking.
yeah, and then you'll also get the draft.
Sure.
But yeah, I can go through those, try to simplify. And there's lots of pages, but again, a lot of them are asking for the same material, so, yeah, we can do that. Okay, anything else? Any other comments?
No.
Hearing none, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved and approved, all in favor?
Aye.
Where are we going for dinner?
We'll have a great summer.